Hello, YouTube. This is Mahadeva the ThunderWizard, and we'll see if this works, but I may start a new little question. So, comments and questions. So, if you have questions about anything that I've taught, or if you just have a question for me, go ahead and stick it in any of the video comments of any of the videos, and I will be happy to, when I have time, make these little answer videos. So I got a question from Matthew. Matthew, in response to my video, How to Command the Universe to Give You Prosperity, something about why the law of attraction doesn't work. He asks an interesting question. He says, can you give a tip on how exactly you know when you are taking action on your soul, and how to, he has to in quotes, T-O, how to take action on your soul? How do you feel during and after? How to, out of initiation, take the action from your soul calling? So he asks numerous questions there. So I responded in my own inimitable fashion, and I asked, I said, before I answer that, I have a couple of questions for you. I said, have you read my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life? Or watched the video of me reading it? Have you watched any of my vids about Manifestation Mastery course? If so, watch those first and then see if that doesn't answer your questions. Because I mean, on my videos, as you know, what I'm doing most of the time is I am going into depth into concepts I've already talked about. And so it's always good. If you have a question about something, again, learn how to search within my channel, learn how to search terms within somebody's YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the playlists and see if there isn't videos already there. So there's no shortage of videos about me talking about the Shamanic Secret Commandment and soul desires and all that. No shortage of those. So I say that because it sounds like that he might have been new, or maybe he didn't know where to go to find that information. Having said that, I am going to answer his question again in my own inimitable style. He says, can you give a tip on how exactly you know when you are taking action on your soul? So I would be more specific with my language. I would say soul desire, taking action on your soul desire. So a desire is a desire. It's kind of like asking somebody, how do you know when you've tasted something sweet? I mean, how exactly do you know? There's too much thinking going on here. And that was why my first instinct was, have you read the book? Have you watched any of the videos? Because the question makes it sound like it's really complicated and difficult, and it's not. Your soul desire is a desire that you have, and you know what your desires are. This is the interesting thing. So I recommend everybody go to career.thunderwizard.com. If this really is a challenge for you and you don't know what your soul desire is or how to take action on it, I recommend that you go to career.thunderwizard.com, and there is a video course there that goes into detail. It takes you through specific questions. By the way, that same course, career.thunderwizard.com, can be used, although I'm not giving out any certificates for it. It can be used if you want to learn that method, you can become a life coach. You can be a life coach to help people find their career or find success or find happiness. It's a very simple process. I take you through very simple questions. Because the truth is, you already know what your soul wants. I mean, everybody's born with a deep desire, and it's not necessarily about a business or a job. We've got this idea in our modern Western mindset that, you have to go out and do something. You have to go out and have this job or have this career. And I got nothing against that. If that makes you happy, go do it. But, there are people who have desires. They want to paint. They want to travel the world. They want to be a ballerina. They want to play music. A soul desire is something that comes from within you that you know. To ask me, how do you know exactly when you are taking action? It's like saying, how do you know when you're, reaching out for food when you're hungry? Can you tell me exactly how am I feeding myself when I'm hungry? I mean, your hunger desire will tell you what to do. When you're cold, when you're hot, whenever you have, a very instinctual response to a stimulus, you don't need precise instructions. How exactly do I take off my jacket when I'm too warm? And how do I know that I'm too warm? If somebody were to ask you these questions, you would be going, seriously, you're seriously overthinking it here. So this tells me that either Matthew doesn't quite understand the concept. Maybe I haven't explained it well, but more than likely he's responding in a very typical fashion. Most people really get stuck and they stumble with this whole idea of their soul desire. And part of that is because there's this confusion about, what I'm supposed to do and what I truly want to do. And the thing that I've discovered is that you can make money doing anything if it's something you really enjoy. And there's a way to turn your desires into a business, especially now. I mean, you look on, YouTube and Instagram, and we have these, these influencers, and they're people just, like women going through their closets, talking about, and talking about how to put makeup on. I mean, these are things that that they're just part of their everyday life, but it's, really appealing to them. Closets and makeup aren't something that I'm all that interested in, but, who cares? People will pay money to hear you talk about what, how to arrange your clothes in your closet and how to use this blush and this toner and this base to, people will pay money to hear you talk about the things that you enjoy doing that make you happy. So a tip on how exactly you know when you're taking action on your soul, it's just way too overthought. And if it's because Matthew has a conflict, it could be this, because when we overthink things, it means that we're emotionally in conflict. Our intellect, this is his intellect. He's trying to figure it out. And I'm not telling you to figure it out. I'm asking you to listen to what you want. And then when you know what you want, you go do it. You find out that your soul desire is to become a ballerina. You don't have to ask me a question. How exactly do I go about taking action on becoming a ballerina? I don't know. It's not my desire, but if that's what you want to do, you're going to go online and you're going to look for ballerina schools, ballet classes. You don't have to think it out like that. You should know what you want. If you don't, that's a very common thing, and that's what career.thunderwizard.com is all about. It's about helping you to understand what your soul desire is. The reason why we have conflict over our soul desire is because we get trapped between what we think we're supposed to do and what we want to do. And there's usually some shame or some guilt. Now, you're not aware of those feelings because they're deeply ingrained. So your experience is you get confused and you ask these kinds of questions. I need you to tell me exactly how do I take, and then he goes on to say, how do you feel during and after? Well, how do you feel when you're hungry and you reach out and you eat some really good food? How do you feel during the time that you're eating the food? How do you feel afterwards? Again, it's just way too much thinking. How to, out of initiation, take the action. I don't know what that means. How to, out of initiation. I don't know what that means. Again, too much thinking. Go to your feelings. And everybody has access to this. And if you do have a conflict, don't worry. That's very normal. There's a lot of people, as I said, that don't know the difference between what they want and what they think they want, what they think they're supposed to do and what they truly want to do. There's a lot of confusion. So to answer that, go to career.thunderwizard.com. And if you need to have a session with me, and I just went through this with somebody recently, you can scroll to the bottom of that page, and you can purchase a session with me. So far, I've always been able to find out, within an hour easily, sometimes 10 or 20 minutes, I'm able to find out exactly what your soul desire is. And that's not because I'm psychic. It's because I ask you questions and you actually tell me. You just sometimes didn't realize that was your soul desire. You probably had some guilt. Oh, I can't do that, or that's stupid, or nobody, blah. So there it is. That's my best answer to Matthew's question. And I do believe what I said earlier to him is accurate. Put some time and effort into reading the Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. You can go to courses.thunderwizard.com to find out where my books are. And watch the videos. I have no shortage of videos on the channel explaining it. Having said that, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. If you have other questions about other stuff, feel free to leave them anywhere in the video comments. Please do not contact me personally. Leave them in the video comments. And if it's an interesting question and I have time, I'll be happy to make one of these little comment, question, answer videos. All right, guys, that's it for me. As you can see, I'm in a new place. So let's hope for the best. And I will see you guys all very soon. Take care.